A stranger on the train looks at you a second too long, and something in your chest tightens before you've consciously decided to feel anything at all. You look away first, or you don't, and your pulse picks up while you hold their gaze, waiting to see who blinks. You tell yourself it's nothing, just an awkward moment between strangers. But the real answer is far stranger, because that tiny exchange is a weapon your ancestors used long before anyone had a word for war. You didn't learn to feel that tension. You inherited it, fully loaded, from a lineage that used direct eye contact as a genuine threat display for millions of years before it ever became a party game at a sleepover. For most of human history, and for most of primate history before that, prolonged direct eye contact wasn't polite or neutral. It was confrontational. Among nearly every social primate species, a sustained, unblinking stare functions as a direct challenge, a signal that one individual is asserting dominance over another. Look away, and you're conceding, hold the gaze, and you're pushing back. British psychologist Michael Argyle spent years mapping exactly how eye contact functions in human interaction, and his research revealed something that should sound familiar the moment you hear it. In ordinary human conversation, people naturally glance at each other's eyes in short, repeated bursts, rarely locking gaze for more than a second or two at a time. Argyle found that when eye contact extends well beyond that natural rhythm, something shifts psychologically. The interaction stops feeling neutral and starts feeling loaded, tense, almost physically uncomfortable, even when nothing else about the situation has changed. Why would your body react that strongly to something as simple as being looked at? Because among our closest primate relatives, staring has never been simple at all. Primatologist Frans de Waal spent decades observing chimpanzee troops, documenting exactly how dominance hierarchies get established, tested, and maintained. Direct, sustained staring shows up again and again as one of the clearest signals of challenge in chimpanzee social life. A lower-ranking chimp who holds eye contact with a dominant male too long is picking a fight, whether it intends to or not. Subordinate animals instinctively avert their gaze as a way of signaling submission, diffusing tension before it escalates into actual physical conflict. The stare itself does real social work. It tests boundaries without a single blow being thrown. Here's the part that should genuinely stop you. This isn't a distant behavior confined to chimpanzees in a forest somewhere. Neuroscientist Ralph Adolphs has spent years studying how the human brain processes direct eye gaze specifically, and his research points to something remarkable. The amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure deep in your brain, responsible for detecting threat and triggering fear responses, activates specifically and measurably in response to direct eye contact, especially prolonged or unexpected eye contact from someone you don't know. Your brain isn't treating a stranger's stare as neutral information, it's treating it, at a fundamental biological level, as a potential threat that needs immediate evaluation. This wiring didn't appear out of nowhere. It's a direct continuation of exactly the same system chimpanzees use to police social hierarchy without violence. Somewhere in the deep evolutionary past, before language, before weapons, before anything you'd recognize as human culture, direct eye contact became a low-cost, low-risk way of testing who would back down and who wouldn't, all without a single scratch or bite exchanged. Which brings you back to that awkward moment on the train. When a stranger looks at you a beat too long, and you feel that flicker of tension before you consciously understand why, you're not overreacting to nothing. Your amygdala is running an ancient evaluation protocol, the same basic system a subordinate chimp uses when deciding whether to hold a dominant male's gaze or look away first. The stakes have changed completely. Nobody on a modern train is about to get physically attacked over eye contact, but the underlying machinery running that split-second calculation hasn't updated to reflect that. It's still asking the same question your ancestors' brains asked for millions of years. Is this a challenge? And if so, do I meet it or diffuse it? This is the strange part worth sitting with. Somewhere along the evolutionary line, this ancient dominance signal got repurposed into something almost playful. Children play staring contests specifically because holding eye contact without blinking feels difficult, tense, almost dangerous in some small, instinctive way, even though nobody involved is actually at risk of anything. The game works precisely because it's tapping directly into the exact same discomfort a subordinate primate feels holding a dominant animal's gaze. You're not learning a new skill when you play that game as a kid. You're practicing an ancient one, stripped of its original stakes, but somehow keeping every bit of its original tension intact. Think about what that means for something as ordinary as a job interview, a first date, or a tense conversation with your boss. The advice to maintain confident eye contact isn't just modern social coaching, it's an echo of exactly the same primate calculation Frans de Waal documented in chimpanzee troops. Hold the gaze and you signal strength, confidence, unwillingness to back down. Look away too quickly and something in the room shifts, even if nobody could articulate exactly why. You are in that exact moment running a multi-million-year-old dominance test with someone who has absolutely no idea that's what's actually happening between you. So the next time a stranger's gaze lingers a moment too long and your chest tightens before you understand why, you're not imagining the tension. You're running software installed millions of years before humans existed. Still perfectly functional. Still quietly asking the exact same question it always has. Who looks away first? The more we learn about the past, the better we understand ourselves. If this video sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Phoenix Primeval for more fascinating stories from history, science, and human evolution. Thanks for watching.